Welcome back, everyone. Remember, leave a like, hit share. I can't quite share the show today. I have finally landed in the Twitter jail. We'll be talking about that and then some in just a moment on today's pre-show live stream. It's time to talk about Comet Neowise. And yes, those pesky aliens. There we go. We're back. We're live. We're a bit more colourful today. Yes, indeed we are, aren't we? We've even got some neon lights around the place. What is going on? What is going on? And that's why I landed myself in jail. Big shout out to everyone in the chat room. We see Stuart in there. I couldn't agree more. Little Glob. Rorschach? That's a really hard one for me to say, but I like it. Rorschach, mad. Justin is good in there. Yes, indeed. He says I must have posted some beans. Yes, I got some beans in Twitter jail. Not even that exciting, dude. It's pretty bad. Now, David in the chat room says, no joke, there is also a strange star-like thing flying super fast in the sky. And that's really on topic, because today in our pre-show stream, we're going to be looking at the night sky. Really inspired by Nanny Puff Puff in the chat room. She is also known as AKA Susie. She's Welsh Susie, and we'll be going to Wales in just a moment to open up today's little conversation, our little get-together, our little congregation that we have before we head on over to the main show. And I hope you all caught the main show yesterday. Quite surprised to see anyone here today. The numbers are down, you see. Told you. Yeah, I'm not the most popular person in the alternative media because I don't tend to jump on bandwagons anymore. So I might not be the most sensational. I might not be the most larpy. I try to be as honest as I can. And as you can see, it's reflected in what people want. They don't want that side of Kev. So I suspected we'd have lost a few overnight. But that's okay. That's okay. These things happen. People get triggered. And over time, triggers wear off. And hopefully they'll look back and go, oh, dang. Oh, dang. Should have hung around there. Wonder what else they've been saying. And our old friends will return again. Yes, they will. So we've got Ben in there. We have also got Stuart. Karen. Big shout out to you, Karen. Bearded Traveller. Fellow Glaswegian you. Who else do we have? Now, David, we'll talk about the other strange things in the sky when we get there, okay? Don't you worry, brother. I've got you. Lewis. Bearded. He's doubly bearded today. He's had 2 shout-outs. King Sweet. Big shout-out to you. Rick, another Scotsman. Big up to you, brother. Yes, indeedy. Let's see. Toxic Crusader. Now, when I seen that name coming into the chat room, I did suspect, oh boy, we've attracted one of those ones. A troll. But no, Not at all. And you see, I shouldn't judge an avatar by its name. Should I? I see there's a valuable lesson in there, folks. Always little life lessons on the Kev Baker Show. I think we need to get back to me giving out my dating advice as well. I used to like giving out my dating advice. You probably think, well, Kev, if he's giving out dating advice, he must be some kind of Romeo. He must be a wizard with women, right? Pretty clueless, actually, to be honest with you, but full of good advice along the way. So today on the main show, I've got absolutely no idea what we're getting into. No, I do. I'm going to be playing a couple of videos today. One is going to be about something very topical in the news right now that you need to hear. And I'm also going to look around for a couple of really scary, creepy, horror type stories. And I'm going to look for them to have been read in a really professional, creepy, scary, woo-filled manner. Number of reasons. It's going to be some new, fresh type content onto the main show. And some days, believe it or not, I don't really make much of it because I try not to. I try not to bring it up. But some days, talking for maybe near enough 3 hours on end, a little break in between here and there, it does get sometimes too much. You sometimes hear the odd cough sneaking in when I'm talking. Maybe I'll have to take maybe a little bit more of a break in between saying things. So some days I'm going to rely on some other content to kind of take up the slack. But it's going to be good. It's going to be uber creepy. It's going to be uber woo. And we'll find different ways of doing this from time to time. Now, when we come on the stream here, you're always going to have to put up with me talking to you, talking crap. That's just what I do on a stream. You know that. That's how we roll here, right? So on today's stream, we're going to be talking about the night sky, and in particular, Comet Neowise. Now, I used to be on the edge of my seat anytime there was anything that had been talked about of any note in the night sky, be it asteroids, be it comets, be it anything that's out there in the media. This is coming when the alt media used to jump on a comet or a big date because of a harbinger in the sky. I was there. I was right there on the edge of my seat, on the tip of my toes, ready to go. I tell you, what an accelerating rush that kind of these topics can be. I get it. I've been there. But then over time, it's kind of like waned, and it's kind of pushed me the other way where I think, oh no, not another comet. But we all know that I'm a very, very big fan of and love to get into all things space. And today, when I found my messages on Facebook, I had seen that Susie, Nanny Puff Puff, had sent me one of the most stunning images that I've seen in a long, long time. And it comes from where she lives. I think it's pretty close to where Nanny is. It's down in the Welsh Valleys. And this here, well, I'm going to pull it up right now. Now, remember, folks, before we get there, if you're new to the channel, please remember to subscribe and click the bell, get all the updates. My notifications are working really, really good these days. Touch wood, long may it continue. I hope you do as well. So even if you need to unclick the bell, check it again, go for all notifications, and hopefully you'll get alerted anytime that we're going live here. And we are going to be turning the memberships on. I'm in the process of doing loyalty badges, emojis, and all the various little hoops that I'm going to have to jump through to get us there, okay? But we're going to get there, and it's going to be even better than we done it first time round on the bigger channel. We can look at that as almost like the beta test. We ironed out some of the problems, and now when we launch it here, it's going to be awesome. It really, really is. But it's not going to be necessary. I'm going to do exactly what I've done the last time. I will price it as cheap as YouTube will possibly let me, because I don't want to leave anyone out. And from the lowest range to the highest range, I'm going to keep it all the same emojis. The only different perk you may get at the higher tier is maybe an extra live stream. Maybe, just maybe. But I like to have everyone having access to everything. And even if you're not a member, the members only streams, sometimes we'll just put members only chat on and everyone can watch. Sometimes we'll just put it public after the show. So nobody's getting left out when the memberships go on. I want to make that really, really, really clear. It's just a way for people, if they can and if they want to support the show, they can do it that way. So with that out of the way, I hate getting all that stuff out of the way, but it has to be done. Let's get into this picture that made me go, wow, look at that, folks. So this comes from somebody called, and I've got permission from Susie to use this name, or else I would have blanked it out for privacy purposes, but Keith Jones. This is Comet Neowise, and it's taken down in Wales. Take a look at that, folks. Now, if you look here, it says, I was too lazy to go out and take pics this morning, so I took this one of a road in Penrith from my front door in Tony Pandy. I've probably said that way all wrong, but Neowise, Comet Neowise, in the sky. So there it is there. Now we're going to take a look at a lot more to do with this, obviously. But what a stunning, absolutely stunning image. Look at that. Something quite majestic about that. Something quite, I don't know. On a cosmic level, pardon the pun, that is pretty dang cool. So that's a cool one, but we're going to take a look now at some of the other amazing images that we've got of Comet Neowise. So Comet Neowise is actually, its proper name is Comet C 2020 F3, better known as Neowise, for the Near-Earth Object Wide Field Infrared Survey Explorer Telescope that first discovered it. That's a mouthful, right? Neowise is definitely better. And it has come so close to the Earth over the weekend that it's visible to the naked eye, blazing brightly over northern skies. Now, the rare event was captured on camera by amateurs and professionals alike from around the globe with amazing results. So let's take a look at this. This is from the ISS, I would imagine. Okay, where are you, Neowise? Ah, there we go, there we go. Dang, dude. That's pretty stunning, right? So this one here, Lake Superior. You've got to love that. Look at the colours there. So this morning, looking at north over Lake Superior, as the comet skimmed over the horizon, a little over 1 degree, and the aurora made a brief appearance. I remember when I was up in Norway with the army, and that aurora borealis, wow. That is nothing I can say. You've seen the images of it, right? But again, even then, there's nothing quite like being underneath it and just... It takes your breath away. It truly, truly does. So there's Stonehenge. Another nice image there. And of course, recently, they found tunnels under Stonehenge, right? A massive kind of working going on there. Whatever was going on there at the time. And I would imagine over the next couple of years with LiDAR and everything else, we're not only looking skywards today, we're now looking downwards from the sky. But a lot of the secrets that are just beneath the surface of the kind of ground, the soil, that's going to be revealed, and we're going to get an even clearer picture of some of these megalithic sites, but it's going to be like an inverse effect, because bigger pictures lead to more questions. How many times have I told you that's how it rolls down the rabbit hole? Don't expect to learn much. You can learn lots, just don't expect to know much. Okay? So then, scrolling on down here, there's one here. Mick Jagger took it. Okay, not the Mick Jagger, obviously. Maybe it was Mick Jagger, I don't know. So, C 2020, July the 12th, Universal Time, 21:30. That's a mountain location. There you can see the effect there. That's pretty cool as well. Instagram, not letting us see that one. And And then it says on here how to see the spectacular comet Neowise with the naked eye. And this comes from yesterday. So it says that the comet, or a comet discovered earlier this year by an orbiting NASA observatory, is delighting stargazers and streamers alike in the northern hemisphere while it whips through the inner solar system, as it is currently bright enough to see, or in the night sky to be visible without binoculars or a telescope. And it says here that Neowise was first spotted in March by astronomers using the Neowise telescope and is now in the part of its 6,800-year orbit that brings it close to the Sun. In the past few weeks, Neowise has developed a spectacular curving tail composed of dust particles ejected from the main body of the comet as it is warmed by the sun. Now, this dusty trail catches sunlight, causing the comet to shine in the night sky. And that there, I mean, that is amazing. 6,800-year orbit. So the last time that was in possibly visible in the night sky, world looked a lot different back then, eh? I wonder what the people around at that time, if it was visible, I wonder what their pesky leaders had to say about it. They probably used it to cause a bit of fear, a bit of hype, you know? Never let a good comet go to waste. They probably had the shaman or the witch doctor out there, you know, wiggling his rabbit's foot or his pterodactyl's wing, telling people, I told you so, it's coming. If you pay me just 10 shekels, I'll make it go away. Maybe they weren't throwing shekels around back then. They probably weren't. But does make you wonder, right? Oh, to be a comet, you know, just that 6,800-year wait, waiting to see what Earth's like the next time we go back. I wonder what it would make of Earth right now. Maybe it's like an alien probe. Every 6,800 years, it whips past. And if we've fulfilled some criteria, it unlocks the invisible force field around us and we get welcomed into the Federation of Planets. No? Too woo-woo? Yeah, probably. I know. So how do we see this thing? I'll tell you how you see it. With your eyes. With your eyes, goddammit. So it says here, I know I've developed a really kind of almost blasé attitude over the past couple of weeks, right? Take a look outside. The world's gone mad. I think I'm doing well to stay this sane, to be honest with you. So long exposure images taken by astrophotographers in recent days show that the comet also has a second tail. Oh. Probably absolutely nothing mysterious to this, but we'll make it sound like there is, right? No, I'm not an expert in comets. I'm not. The faint blue ion tail is likely produced by ultraviolet radiation and interaction with particles from the sun known as the solar wind. There you go. I thought it was actually going to say like an ion drive. The zeta reticulans were like hiding inside of this kind of... It's not actually a comet. It might be some kind of holographic image around it. I'm being silly, folks. I don't actually think it's that. Or is it? No, I don't think it's that. I don't speak to any type of avian people on the edge of the solar system. I'm not welcome at that gathering, so I'm sorry I can't bring you the tales from the chicken coop that would probably be able to shed light, albeit a blue ultraviolet light, on this story. So it says, at the moment, the comet is visible from the mid-northern latitudes in the evening sky. And from the UK, ho, that's where I am. Hang on, it's talking about me. It can be found sitting low near the northern horizon in the constellation of Lynx. What, the deodorant? Like the body deodorant? They named a constellation after the body deodorant? Right, probably a cat. Sorry. In the coming days, it will track a little higher in the sky, gradually moving into the constellation of Ursa Major, known as the Great Bear. On the night of July 18th, it will sit closest or close to the star Talitha in the bear's front paws. So the bear will be holding it, basically, you know, metaphorically, it'll be kind of the bear will be holding it in its hands. You don't be held in a bear's hands, folks. That's a really precarious position to be. But to the naked eye, Neowise appears as a fuzzy star with a faint greyish streak of light emanating from it. If you have a pair of binoculars, these will show it even more clearly. What a genius, eh? Nobody would have thought of that one, would they? We wouldn't have. Who wrote this? Who wrote it? Will Gator, you are an absolute genius, because there's been so many people around the world that have been trying to look at this thing, and not one person thought of picking up the binoculars to make it come closer to you. Cheers for figuring out what binoculars do, Bill. Cheers for that. Especially, it's beautiful, glowing dust tail. Polly says the bear's the Big Dipper. That's what I know it as, brother. Yeah, the Big Dipper. The one that goes shoot, 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 and it kind of... And I've done that off screen there, but is it like the saucepan as well? Yeah, I think it is. Now drawing things on the screen, the AI will think I'm up to no good. So Neowise's highly elliptical orbit is now returning it to the outer solar system, and the comet will eventually fade from view as it recedes into the cold, distant reaches of our planetary neighborhood on its millennia-long journey. 2020 is a really special year, isn't it? You know, a once in a 6,800 year opportunity to see something, and we were here for it. We were here for it. And you sometimes wonder then, right? Do these comets signify anything greater on like almost other levels? You know? I mean, was there anything significant going on when this flew around the last time? It'd be interesting to see, right? And I'm not saying that everything in the world in 2020 is connected to that comet that you see there, but multiple levels, and they do influence one another, you know? Different fields, different dimensions, different energies. Everything's connected in some weird and wacky way, right? And we're going to get into some more weirdness and wackiness after I get a little drink of coffee. I'll let you have a little break for a minute or two, then we'll come back and we will get right into it. Look at this. Do you like my blue oyster bar type neon sign here? It was Anne that said, Kev, you look like you're turning into the blue oyster bar. I can't imagine what she means. Megaphone Man in the chat room. That is our good friend Nacy, brother. Don't you be worrying about CERN, Kev. Don't you worry about it. It's not even on yet. We're all good. We're all good, I hope. But remember, there's about another 150 of them that are on at the moment. Ah! What's up, Vardon Guerrero? What's up? There we go. There we go. Yes, indeedy. I was just looking for another clip that we might be able to play there. But yeah, pretty weird, the whole Comet Neowise. Absolutely stunning to look at. Some of the pictures that we looked at, they're really cool. I want to give a big thank you to Susie, and in particular Keith down in Wales for capturing this here, because that's what really set the tone for today's little talk, our little chill stream here. And yeah, absolutely stunning. So a big shout out to Keith, big thank you to Nanny, aka Susie, and Polly, our very own Polly. He's got a lovely looking camera, and he takes some amazing pictures as well. I see him in the chat room right now. So we had Nacy, my good friend Kevin. He is the megaphone man, but now he seems to have morphed into somebody else in the chat room. He's back to being Mr. C Resolution. Yes, indeedy. So he's a man of many, many talents, a man of mystery, a man that is rolling for office in the 7th District of Minnesota. Big shout out to you, brother. And don't worry, Kev, I'll keep you swamp juice free. The minute I start to smell goblins off you, I'll be calling you out, man. I'll be saying, Kev, you're hanging about the goblins too long. You don't want to be gobbling the goblins. You get me? You feel me? You don't want to be feeling the goblins. You can feel me. Although that sounds really weird, but you get me, Kev, okay? We're here for you, man. We'll keep you right. And if I was over there, if I was over in Minnesota, God forbid, with everything going on right now, I'd be staying in the house. But no, I'd be coming out to vote for you, dude. Because I can safely say you're the realest person I've ever known to be anywhere near any political kind of spheres. And yeah, you're one of the most genuine, I would imagine, as well. And get this, Kev's going to be back on 7/27. And it's, if I remember rightly, Kev, it's going to be the start of a new moon or a full moon. So you get double Kevin on 7/27. That's like Kevin Heaven squared, right? Sort of weird. Really weird doing a show with another dude called Kevin. And I keep bumping into other people called Kevin online. It's like I'm in this almost... Remember we talked about the time sinks? Like 333, 111. Now I'm in some kind of weird part of the simulation where there's been the Kev update 2.0. It's weird. Thankfully, not any of these characters look like me. Not like Dave. He's my doppelganger for sure. But he hides under the hat, actually. I don't know what I'm even talking about now. I was going to get back into space. How did we get to doppelgangers and Dave and multiple Kevs? And how did that happen? That's what kind of happens here, though, right? It's the neon lights that are going on. They're kind of maybe mind controlling me here. Something like that. But let's take a look at what else I've got on our space plate today. And this one here. This is one I'm particularly excited by. I've talked to Brandon Drackler. No, it's Brendan Drackler. Why did I call him Brandon? Where did that come from? Oh no, I've glitched the names out. Not good. Brendan Drackler, my little astrophysicist buddy, he often comes on the show and talks about the James Webb telescope. Now, for anyone who hasn't checked this thing out, from an engineering standpoint, this is the stuff of craziness. It truly, truly is. And for this to even get into space and to be deployed and unfolded and out there in space, that in itself is going to be an achievement like maybe man has never done before when it comes to this kind of project in space. And you see it here, it's a massive thing, right? But that doesn't give you any kind of idea for what's going to happen. And it says, after decades of development, will NASA's largest telescope finally get off the ground? And getting off the ground is one thing here. Getting into space is another. But then you've got to go through the deploying of it. It's crazy. But what this is going to do, it's going to give us... Remember when the Hubble telescope came along and we went from really, really like crap grainy, gooey looking pictures of space. And then it just got revolutionized. We got these like deep field Hubbles views and everything. Well, think of that kind of magnitude of improvement again when we launch this thing. And it says NASA's much awaited James Webb Space Telescope may finally get its place in the night sky. NASA is now completed, or says it's now completed, its final litany of critical software and electrical system tests, theoretically clearing it for launch as soon as 2021. It is the largest and most technically complex space science telescope NASA has ever built. And I'm going to come over here. I'll try and find one where we can take a little look at this. This is NASA. I want to see it unfolding. It's bizarre, folks. Northrop Grumman. Oh, here, I'll speed it up a bit. So there it is going up. Get the idea. And then it'll deploy from there. So once it gets out, there it is here. Look. Watch this, folks. This is crazy now. I've obviously speeded this up. But fair use, I am like trying to add to it by commentating. But move along a little bit. There we go. So you see these are like the solar panels. And then these giant kind of wings, like solar sail type things, they unfold. This is like a 3-day process, look. That's from takeoff to 3 days, 11 hours. So we'll fast forward it a little bit yet. And look at this. One thing goes wrong, folks. One thing. That's all it would take. Come along further. And that's it. That's actually the mirrors there, sorry. That wasn't the solar panels, that's the mirrors. And these mirrors, there's videos of them being made and things. It's insane. Absolutely insane. And then as you can see, it'll fit into an orbit right there. That is so cool, right? So cool. I think it's really cool anyway. But like I say, it's getting that thing. That's like up to that point there. Day 14, it's on by the time it starts or finishes unfolding the mirrors to make the kind of the dish where all the light hits, and then it'll focus back on that. I think it's called a CMB, if I remember rightly from my old satellite days. But yeah, crazy, crazy stuff. And we're going to stick with space for our next story. And a bit more into the stuff that we usually talk about now. But I equally enjoy the science, the kind of stuff we've looked at here. The natural space phenomenon. And there's so much we don't know about space. I always recommend the Thunderbolts project at this point. Not to try and convince you that it's an electrical universe, but to offer you an insight into some of the amazing things that we can see in the night sky. Well, the electric universe can actually explain the phenomena. And many times with plasma and electricity, you can recreate these brilliant things we see in space in the lab. Just saying. So yeah, Thunderbolts project. But let's talk about aliens, shall we? And this comes from the 10th of July. It's Newsweek. And I'm just going to play this here again. It's always worth playing. This is the very infamous Tic Tac video that came out from the ATIP, Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, I think it was. I could be wrong there. You know how I love Luis Elizondo so much, right? And of course, this video to the Stars Academy.
Dude, this is a drone, bro. There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA.
You see, that's interesting there, right? Looks like a drone, bro. There's a whole fleet of them. Look at the ASA. I would say that's Aerospace Something Assistant, or It doesn't matter, but look at radar or something. You can see a fleet of them. It does make you wonder. I still wonder if this is ours. And I'm talking about the kind of technology that is in the very, very secret, restricted access type programs. You know, this is a way of almost slowly bringing the public up to speed with some of the technology that we ourselves have. Now, did we get that technology from back engineering some kind of alien craft? We could have done. I do think there's been a number of incidents where they could have retrieved technology, back engineered it, and then from there created our own advanced, very advanced, alien looking type vehicles, because we don't get access to physics where you can do right angled turns at like bajillions of kilometers an hour without the occupant of that craft splattering to the windshield. All right, it defies physics as we know them, but remember, that's only physics as we know them. The parameters could be far greater. We just don't get told about it, right? We talked about Tesla the other night and all that kind of stuff, and there's far more out there than what we get to play with. That's the point I'm making. Now, does that mean these are some black project of the Pentagon's? I don't know. I really don't. Because I do think that there are craft coming here from other worlds / dimensions. Because I think to travel space, it's impossible to do it traditionally, like point to point, unless you can fold the space, wormhole it, and that's where the dimensional part comes in. All right, that's just my thoughts, so just my thinking on it.
My gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude.
Looks like the Mothman, doesn't it?
That's not our LNS though, is it?
I'm not saying it's the Mothman, but it's got that kind of shape to it.
It's rotating.
There you go. And remember, I mean, it's technology that we may have that we really wouldn't recognize as being our own. Possibly. I'm not saying that is. That's just one way of looking at it. But it says here, the Pentagon has a lot more highly classified videos of so-called unidentified aerial phenomenon. The ex-head of a secretive government program has said. Oh, here we go. Luis Elizondo. Yeah, Luis Elizondo, who once led the US government's Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, which was set up to investigate UAPs, helped facilitate the release of 3 videos showing unidentified aerial phenomena captured by Navy pilots in 2004 and 2015. And the reason I play the clown music, well, the clown horn for Luis Elizondo, is because he still has government contracts. He doesn't go on shows like mine. And bear in mind how fair I am when I interview people. Everyone was expecting me to really rip shreds off Geordie Rose when he came on, and nobody expected me to get him on. And there's no reason for Luis Elizondo to think that it would be some setup. I would get his thoughts on things, but the reason I wouldn't really ask him about what else he's into is because he couldn't tell me anyway. Because he's still currently contracted to the Department of Defense. So these characters that are saying they're ex-Pentagon, they're ex-military, in a way, but they're like your private military-industrial complex, and they're posing as the good guys with this UFO file that we're all meant to go, oh, wow, Hal Puthoff. Oh, wow, Tom DeLong, me love you long time. Luis Elizondo, you're like the second coming of Mulder. No. Again, I'm a bit wary when the same people who worked at the Pentagon and worked on mind control projects and still work on Capitol Hill and have been in the multiple administrations in the government, meaning that they're literally a swamp goblin. I'm quite worried when they come telling me they've got the truth. Hey, Kev. Hey, ignore I'm a swamp monster, but I've got the truth for you. Okie dokie. Smells like a goblin, and it came from Goblin Land. It's probably got goblin juice on it. That's all I'm saying, right? So in April this year, the Department of Defense published the declassified videos online, which has already been circulated in the public domain following unauthorized releases in 2017 and 2018. Well, somebody authorized it. Somebody authorized it, because if that was classified, you wouldn't have seen the likes of Tucker Carlson, CNN, Newsweek, all the big kind of news people out there covering it. Just saying. So it says that the company is founded by Blink-182 singer Tom DeLonge, called To the Stars Academy of Arts and Sciences, that researches unidentified aerial phenomena. And last year, Navy and Pentagon spokespeople confirmed that the videos, which show strange objects appearing to accelerate incredibly fast, travel at spectacular speeds, and perform other unusual maneuvers, are real. It says, am I surprised that the government acknowledged the validity and the veracity of these videos? Not at all, says Elizondo. Well, it wouldn't surprise you, dude, because you know the script. You're the one that is playing a part in the controlled release of this information. You know what's going to happen. You know what has happened. You know it long into the future, don't you, Lewis? Because you're a stooge. You're a shill. You know, he literally is out there shilling for the military-industrial complex. Why? Because he's helping to create some kind of perception that there's a security risk out there. And with that security risk and that fear that they're trying to drum up, then they can then go to Capitol Hill with all their contacts there, and they can get bigger budgets for whatever it is they're doing on the back of this. Probably to work on exotic technologies like the one that baffled the pilots up here. Nothing is as it seems on the surface, folks. It really isn't. And as somebody who loves UFOs, you would think this is so weird, Kev. You know, you should be up there. You should have posters of Tom DeLonge on the wall. I think Tom DeLonge, he's been absolutely used in this kind of episode. That's my feelings. Tom's always been kind of very vocal about his interest in UFOs, and if you were, say, in part of a government organisation in a smoky room, and you were trying to figure out how to release some of this information for whatever reason, I imagine at some point in the conversation they would say, well, who's out there? Who can we go to? Who can be a really good kind of public face for this? Who can we give the information to? Make it feel like they're uncovering all of this never seen before information and disclosures going on. But in reality, they're just working for us. I think that probably happened. Now, to what end? I don't know. Bang, I don't know everything. I know nothing, remember? So, you've got that floating along. And then before I wind up today and get ready for the main show, found a really weird one. We like weird ones on the Kev Baker Show. And I think we need to look at this because I've talked about crash retrievals a moment ago, right? What if you were walking through the woods and say you found just like a random patch of forest where, for whatever reason, it looks as if something's really come down with great force, only there's nothing there. Now that there's pretty weird woo, wouldn't you agree? Well, I'm going to show you something just like that in a moment, and then we'll get ready to go over to the main show today. Thank you for being here, folks. We've got Woody Walker in there. Great name, Woody. Big shout out to Woody. Unique Lee. Good to see you, buddy. Scooby Woo. Oh, yes, indeedy. Love the handle, Uniquely. Yep, Uniquely is a cracking name. Karen's still in there. The Dark Journalist thinks the same way to you. You know, Karen, I was actually in contact with Daniel at one point. I'll need to try and get him on the show. Walter Bosley as well. He's another really, really clued up guy when it comes to talking about breakaway civilizations, secret space, only with none of the blue chicken sauce on top. This is the real stuff. You know, maybe not as exciting, but we're after the truth, right? I'm thinking we really need like some kind of neon Mothman on that wall as well.
Excuse me, it's ma'am.
Alright, so you've got the horn now. Okay, I'm the clown. Who knew? There he is, he's back again. It's the Toxic Crusader. Mad. Dude, you sound like you should be in a cartoon, man. And that's a good thing. That's one cool name. Donnie. Yama, brother. Don't worry, folks, I ain't going anywhere. We'll be back in a moment, and I'm going to show you something weird in the woods. Damn, that was creepy. ZX, did they not notify you? That's just absolute douchebaggery. Algorithm, get it sorted out. Me and you are going to have words. I know you're just a pesky equation, but me and you will have words. I'm telling you. I'm watching you, algorithm. I'm watching you. Not Algo. Not our algorithm. Our algorithm in the chat room. Our very own. He's not like an equation. He's absolutely brilliant. He's got his own channel. And he's going to be joining me on the first Monday in August. I believe that's the 3rd of August. And, yep, it's going to be some gold hard truths. Algorithm free over on TFR that night. But we're going to go from that back to what we were talking about. Some weirdness in the woods. Weirdness in the woods, you say? Weirdness in the woods, honestly. Take a little look at this. Man discovers a UFO crash site in the woods. Pretty weird, right? So, a man from Plymouth, England, has filmed a peculiar area of flattened trees in the middle of a Devon wood. Ben Landrycombe, wow, good name, Landrycombe, Mr. Landrycombe, I presume, came across the unusual scene near Medan on July 4th. Hey, Independence Day. Maybe those aliens were celebrating their independence, you never know, while walking his dog. So, found a crash site in the woods. Could be a UFO, he said. I stopped to take the dog for a walk in the woods today as we were camping, and the trees were snapped at the top. That was what I thought was strange, and sure enough, the footage does appear to show a large area of flattened and bent trees. arranged in such a way so as to suggest that something heavy had fallen down on top of them. So we'll take a little look at this, folks. We'll turn it down. We'll speed it up. Hopefully we won't get done. There we go there. You can see it there now, folks. Look at that. That's pretty weird, right? Yeah, so we'll probably have to cut that out after the stream there, but pretty weird, eh? I mean, what's done that? That looks like something has come in there and done that. Pretty weird. You got these ones here as well. Yep, Scooby Woo, it's those peskies. Exactly. Hey, Marty. Marty, I need a way to contact you so I can put you onto my mailing list for when the show starts. If you're over on Discord, I'm not sure if you're in there. Usually I post a link in there, but I'm glad to have you here now, Marty. Glad to have you here now. That's a weird one to me. Pretty weird. That's it's almost like something's come down there, but it's been removed from the image. What was it? That's crazy, says Karen. Yeah, a Tunguska. A very small Tunguska. That is weird. Yeah, that's what I think as well, guys. Cornwall Live, here's the actual report about it on here. There's more, there's a picture of it. Look at that. I mean, look. It looks like it's totally pushed it over. Like it's not. The trees are in one piece. It looks almost. This is going to sound mad. It's going to sound mad. It looks like the crops of corn in a proper corn crop circle, right? What I mean is, the trees look as if they've not really been harmed. Look at them. All right, looks uprooted, kind of. But they're not broke. They've been kind of bent down. You know what I mean? Now, somebody's saying landslide. Now, there has been landslides in Wales lately. That's a good shout. That is a good shout. Very good shout. It's hard to get some kind of perspective here. Like, is he on a slope or... Good shout there. Tree circle. I'm not saying that's what it is, little glob, but it just has that kind of feeling to it, you know? The stalks, or in this case, the kind of... The main part of the tree, it's not bent down or anything, you know? Very interesting. And again, Ben, that's what I thought when I seen it. I thought it's just weird. And again, I'm not saying it's aliens, and neither's the guy, really. He's more asking the question, you know? UFO crash kind of thing? I don't know. Lightning, you would expect to see maybe a bit more damage on the trees, maybe some of them, but burnt out, maybe somewhere. I don't know. They aren't springing back up, though, exactly, Lee. Like I say, loosely, very loosely, like a crop circle, right? Before we go away today, let's take a look there. Crop circle connector. This usually is the best website for them. I've not looked at this in years. Let's have a look for 2020 then, will we? Where do we get in? Non-flash, okay. I don't think that'll let us in somehow. There we go. So, circles, 21 this year. January to May. Okay. This is January to May ones. That looks utterly pathetic. Whoa. NHS and key workers. Wonderful crop circle tribute to them. Okay, so that's man-made. We don't want man-made. That's pretty weird. That's your yin and yang. You know, that's pretty weird though, right? And again, it's hard to tell, but that looks pretty real, that one. But again, it could be stamped down. I don't know. Absolutely stunning, whatever it is. These ones here are just mind-boggling. What do you make of these, folks? Is it some kind of communication? Again, very basic. I think if you were going to fake one, you'd probably want to do something a bit more elaborate, right? Don't know, just saying. Wow. We've had Patty Greer on the show. I suppose you would say she's probably one of the experts in crop circles. July. It's a weird looking, three-dimensional thing going on there. That's weird. I don't know. I've seen videos, you know, the ones where you see little lights above the field and everything. I think some of these are, this one here, it feels like a real one to me. And when I say it feels like a real one, I don't know, it just seems, the way that's all down as well, perfect in the middle, comes out fit. I don't know, folks. It's just, I think lots are man-made. But I also think that's maybe a distractionary tactic for taking attention away from what really is going on. I find it interesting that a lot of these take place in what I would call the military belt. Down Salisbury, the plains there, Wiltshire, all around these places, you know. And of course, there's a high saturation of ancient kind of earthworks in and around these areas as well. Just something energetic going on. Is it a two-way communication? I remember Patty Greer coming on the show and talking about how they were doing like almost quantum experiments while they were investigating them. Really interesting. If you haven't seen that, it's still on the main channel, I believe. But yeah, some pretty cool stuff in there, folks. Hope you've had a nice chill out today. Nothing too serious, it never is. And I know none of you have any expectations of us solving the mysteries of the world when we're in here. We always leave with probably more questions than we do answers. But I also like to make sure, or I try as much as I can, to keep it positive. Keep it upbeat. You know, because there's enough of that crap going on out in the world right now. And it's all still waiting there, I can guarantee. All still waiting there for us when I wrap up this and we get ready to move on over to today's main show. And today I'll be playing a clip that ZX81 provided from one of the people in the Discord, a huge YouTuber. It's going to be very topical. It certainly sits well alongside some of the things that I believe is happening in the world right now. And we'll be getting into some news, some woo, and we'll open up the phones, probably in the second half or the final segment. I'm going to try and find a good creepypasta for us to listen to as well. We'll turn that woo factor up tonight. We had a lot of news yesterday, a lot of dot connecting. Maybe the dots connected, maybe they didn't. But I hope you appreciated the show yesterday, because we lost a few people. We did. I knew we would. It's never popular, you know, not jumping on the bandwagon and just being honest. But that's what we're here to do, right? So I really appreciate everyone that is still here. If you want to support the stream, but you don't have to, PayPal in the description. And I'll be back in just over half an hour's time. And if you're in Discord, we have a room open in there as well. Last night was unbelievable. There must have been, 12, 13 people in there on the disco, just listening alone. Ended up staying live after the show ended for 5-10 minutes. And yeah, Karen, thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate you saying that. Appreciate all of you out there. Now then, like I said, I'm going to go get a coffee, get ready, and blow your minds clean open on today's main Kev Baker show. But we can't go anywhere until this. Keep your mind open Keep looking for the woo, but not to the point where your brain turns to black goo. Blue oyster bad indeed. Jeez, oh. If you're new to the channel, please remember to hit subscribe. We just need 8 more subscribers and we'll hit 4,600. We've had 150 new subscribers this month, folks. 150 new subscribers. If we can get them all onto the daily streams, oh, we're going to grow. We're going to hit that exponential curve that me and Scotty talk about, right? Thank you all, folks. I'll be back soon.